Okay, now we're live from another angle, I'm going to try and add Pura again. Come on. Come on. Is
Bella, how are
Hi.
you?
Let me sort myself out. Hi, Maria. How are you? What should I call you? Maria
Maria's
or
fine.
Pura?
No, Maria,
Yeah, Maria's fine. Oh my God, you're so beautiful to look at. Oh God,
I feel like I look
you look
like a hat
amazing.
on.
You look, you look so good. I can see your shoulders and your shape. It's just so beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me turn it up a bit. How are you
I
today?
can't complain. I'm good. I'm so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
same,
you over there?
same. I can't complain. I'm just trying to get all my questions together, and like the more I do this, the more questions I have to ask, and a lot of people are. Everyone's an individual, so I have to do different
Right.
questions for each person. But it's challenging, but I love it because I'm nosy and I like to find out about the people that inspire
I'm
me. So
nosy.
I'm
I'm
just chatting.
owned it.
Yeah, let me fix this camera a minute. It's a bit wobbly. Okay. So yeah, Maria, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from?
All right. So I am Maria Redmond. I'm originally born in New York, raised some in Florida, raised in New York. Our family's from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and from Puerto Rico, so we've got a good Caribbean mix. Um,
Wow, lovely.
yes, in my teenage years, I kind of got moved around a little bit, so I've lived a little bit of everywhere. I'm a mom,
Oh, nice.
and a grandmother,
Whoa.
and a grandmother of three. So I'm not too old.
Okay, wait. I can't take it. Wait, this is a lot for me. Four. Wait, you're a grandma.
Yeah, I'm a grandmother. Yeah,
What?
I know, right? It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not 12.
Oh my God.
um, I've been active in sports my whole entire life, but very poor binge eating habits. Not horrible food, just binge eating. So I put on weight when I was in school quite a bit, actually, and it kind of just continued into my adulthood years. Even though I continued to play sports the entire time through, I played women's professional football as well for 3 years. So little
Wow.
known fact.
That's amazing.
I love to run. So I've segued a little bit of my athletic career right now into doing triathlons, which has been a big challenge, but it feeds my need for the running, and I love the biking. The swimming is my
Yeah.
nemesis because I'm, so heavy in the water, but I get it done. I can swim quite well, but not
Yeah, I noticed that you said you grew up around water, like playing water polo and stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Water polo.
What age was that?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Water, what age did you start playing water
I
polo, getting
played
into
water
swimming?
polo in ninth and 10th grade. I also was on the dive team 10th and 11th grade. Yeah.
Wow, so you've been fit all your life. You've been into this all your life.
Activity all my life. I wouldn't say that I was fit because really I didn't understand back then principles of eating. To be honest, I
Yeah.
think I know for a fact, if I had that dynamic underneath my belt then, I would have probably
Hmm.
had so much more of a stellar high school career because on the track team, I ran short and long distance, which was very odd for a heavy person, period. My 11th grade year, I got tapped to go do Olympic trials that year. So I think if I was in better physical shape, I would have probably been a track star.
Wow! So you got invited to audition for like the Olympics?
Yes. So that was 11th grade.
In short distance or long distance?
Short distance, and that happened on a fluke. Back then, how it was in Florida, you ran based off of points, team points. So each would do a sport to get a point. Well, we had due to injury, a couple of girls needed to drop out of the 4x100. And I had done all of my races for the day, 400, 800 mile, 2-mile run. So I'd done all my races, and my coach was like, "We need you, Carson." At that time I was married. And I was like, "Okay." So I said, "To do what?" He goes, "You need to run the last leg in the 4x1. I was like, "The last leg?" I was like, why would I run the last leg? I'm not fast enough. I'm like, "You want the fat girl to run the last leg?" He's like, "We just need to." He said, "If we forfeit, we'll lose our first place. If we get, it doesn't matter if we come in last, we'll still win the thing." So I was like, "Okay." A little bit of the pressure was off, but competitive. So we got out of there and got out there on the track, and I know it was a mixture of nerves and competitive. Well, everyone ran their leg really well, so when I got the baton, we had a little bit of a lead. And I mean, you can't get dusted. I mean, it just can't happen. It can't go down.
Right.
I love that in my life with all that fat jiggling everywhere, girl. But I finished.
I bet you weren't even fat. I bet you weren't.
At that point, I was probably like, if I had to take a guess, I was at least 225 at that point. Yeah.
Ooh, what was your height?
But that's still big.
That's for your height. Yeah. You're one of the bigger girls, but still sporty and fast, which is really good. I know a lot of big girls who dance and they're flexible. They can do so much. Yeah, it's more mindset sometimes, you know. But tell me when you got. Tell me when you started getting into like IFB Pro.
So that happened my last year of football. They threw me a retirement party because I was like, okay, I'm done. This is very physical. I had my son with me. He was 8 at the time. I'm eating cupcakes, these blue icing cupcakes. They were so good. I could almost still taste them when I think of them. Nothing ever compared to cupcakes still to this day. So I was eating, and while I was biting it, my son said, "Mom, are you going to be fat forever?" And I was like, "What happened?" Excuse me.
That hit
Hold
home.
on. I'm trying to eat a cupcake and you're interfering. I ate the cupcake anyway. The next day, I used to binge eat and hide in my closet. It's crazy. So I was in my closet, not to binge eat though. This time I was just bawling my brains out because I'd never wanted my kids to see me in a very over emotional state. Some emotion with things, but if I was over emotional, I would step away because I wanted my kids to learn how to manage emotions. So I'm in my closet, bawling my eyes out, and I said, "That's it. I need to correct the problem." Not because I thought I was fat, but I was like, I'm setting maybe a lower standard for my children. If my son was easy to verbalize that to me, and I need to set the bar for their health, not looking for their health higher. And so I joined a gym about an hour away from my house down in Ballantyne, got a coach, and started training for 2 hours a day. And a year later,
what country?
In U.S. North Carolina. And then about literally almost a year to the day, I was on stage doing my first competition in bodybuilding figure, and I got bit by the bug, and I never stopped. I just it consumed me.
What age was you?
I'm sorry.
What age? What age was you when you started?
I was in my mid-30s at this point.
Okay, so
I'm still not young.
Young. That's good.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
while I was going through that whole journey, I'm a nerd. I'm super nerdy. So I said, well, I want to figure out what's going on with diet, because I knew that there was more moving pieces than just working out. And
Yeah,
it's everything. So I went back to school for my dietetic degree. I have a nursing background as well. So they kind of played really well hand in hand. Off it went. My whole life changed. Everything about my world changed, and now I'm just, though I'm in bodybuilding, that's a more of a personal sport. I do it because it takes me mentally to these really deep trenches where I have to learn a lot about myself. It takes you to dark places that you have to create.
You have to look at yourself.
Right. You have to look at yourself, analyze it, and then I'm able to create light within those dark spaces. And every prep that I do is very different and helps me deal with a different, whatever. But that's how that all started.
Yeah. So what makes you binge eat? What was the trigger?
Back
Do you
then,
know?
binge eating, well, I grew up very poor. We didn't have very much growing up at all. I'm talking about food stamps, block cheese, cereal that just says flake box. So yeah, we had a very rough childhood, and there were times, unfortunately, where their food was very scant. And I think that as I got older and things got better, and especially into my adulthood years when I had my own financial means, it was like a little bit of a fear in the back of my mind that I would be hungry. Even though I knew that I wasn't legitimately going to go hungry, I just would eat all of the things that I thought.
You related that to that. Oh, wow. It's good that you can pinpoint it, because then it's easier to overcome.
Absolutely. It became easier for me to rationalize later on that, okay, you're not broke. You have money. There's food in the fridge, Although I think that my family members would beg to say I probably
win the championship.
Right.
Yeah, you killed it. You smashed it. And when I see your photos, I'm in awe of you. You look amazing. I know how hard it is to get to that point. Not a lot of people reach their peak. You look phenomenal, and I'm just so happy to know you, because that's a great achievement. Like, it's not easy.
No, it's a lot of work.
It's not easy. Yeah. What's your training method? Like, how do you get yourself so lean?
So in years past, I used to do the whole dieting down thing, and I still diet down, don't get me wrong, but now instead of trying to diet down and then, you gain all this weight to put on supposed muscle that you never put on because you got to diet it all off. I just said, okay, what is my body's max out point? I'm at it now. I'm not getting any bigger. Nothing's changed. I get stronger in some lifts, but that's about it. But I really just keep a routine where I'm always training and training hard to keep my body just going. So I weight lift 5 to 6 times a day in my off season. In my season, it's 7 days a week. This last 3 weeks is the first 3 weeks that I haven't been running, biking, and swimming every day. But a typical week would look like morning time, go to the pool and swim, then come back, eat, take a break, do some work. I would then go to the gym, go ahead and train, come back from that, eat, take a little bit of a break, hop on the bike for an hour or two, do that, and then go for an evening run is typically what my days look like.
I would love to live with you. Oh my God. That is the perfect day for me. But if I could stay motivated that much to do that 6 times, oh my God, 6 days a week.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You've got to keep into it. You can't just go from 0 to 60, of course. When I first started taking on the triathlon stuff, like I focused mainly on the swim because I knew that was the hardest piece. And then I started adding in, I knew I could run. That was a no-brainer. Then I started adding in the cycling. And because you can cycle at home if you have a turbo trainer, then you're good. You don't need to leave your household. So that cuts down on travel time. But little by little each week, I just ramped up the volume. So a training week, typically in hours, is about a full-time job. I'm training for about 42, 43 hours, excuse me, according to my Strava.
Wow.
It's a job.
That's That is amazing. Like, wow. I don't think I know any guys who train like that.
Most do not.
I know probably a few. Yeah, I know probably a few guys I used to see in the gym like every day, but I haven't heard it that extreme. That's really strong. You're strong mentally and physically, and that's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I think that's
It's
amazing. That's
for
really
me. It's
good.
very therapeutic. All of it. It's yes, some of it I do for skill set, of course, but a lot of it is very therapeutic. When I have new projects that I'm working on or something I want to achieve, I go to
Yeah.
the gym, and I'm while I'm training, the music is on, but it's like background noise to me, and I'm literally kind of ticking off my plan. So I've got the goal, and at the gym is when I'm doing the planning, and then if I'm doing, and that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, how can I execute my plan? And that's kind of what those times for.
That's good. That's a good structure that you have there. You're doing like a 90-day challenge for 2022.
I am.
Tell me a bit
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh. So I did it last year. I did it a year, 2 years prior, but it was really, really small. Last year
Yeah.
rather, it was pretty decent size. And this year it exploded. So I'm like, I need staff.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. I hope you have loads of stuff.
I have loads of people that joined on, and my 90-day challenges are a little bit different than most. Typically, when you buy any type of challenge program, you are going to get all the same workouts. Everyone's doing the same workout and the same food because it's, easy to just kind of plug and play. Well, I have a hard time with that. No matter how many times I tell myself I should just make a basic product to plug and play for the challenge, I just can't do it. So everyone sends me in their pictures and information. I load them into my app, and I still customize all of it. From the nutrition to the training to the cardio, I customize every bit of it.
You do that yourself?
I just, because there's just no way. I have women that are in my challenge that are 58, they overweight. And then I have girls that are in my challenge that are 22 that need to lose those vanity 10 pounds. Well, I can't possibly give these two women the same food or it just won't work, right? I think it's disrespectful, right? So my goal in this whole thing with fitness is to really just help empower people, men and women, to get off the couch and be the best version of themselves. And if I have the knowledge to do that, then I need to be able to share that. And the more that I share it, the money will come, right? I'm not concerned about the money, but I am concerned about, I love when I see from week to week the photos in their face change, not the fat, but their facial expression. Their first picture is always, and
like sometimes I would look at the camera.
Plenty of those right now. And then each week they're making eye contact, and they're happy and they're smiling. And by the end of the challenge, they're like a changed person. And if you can mentally and physically change someone and set them off into the universe to be with others, then their light is going to spill off on other people, right?
Yeah.
So that's my
yes. That's so lovely. It's so nice. That's how trainers should think. That's how they should everyone should be thinking like you. Everyone in the industry, and trust me, that would change the world. It would change the world if all PTs thought like that. That's really good. So what would you feed someone? Like, how would you do a nutrition plan for someone who's obese compared to someone who's already lean but wants to go further? What would be the difference in their food
Quite
plan?
a bit. The first thing that I like to do is send a questionnaire and see what the person likes to eat, because I don't care what program if the person is eating things that they do not like, it's not going to work. So if they're a hamburger, French fry, right? If they're a hamburger, French fry person, I also take into account how many calories they're eating, right? So I said, okay, person's eating the overweight person, they're eating 3,000 calories. Well, we already know that it's probably too much. But if I can get them to commit to some type of a walking program, in addition to the nutrition, what I do is I say, okay, they like to eat burgers, they like to eat pizza, this. I have recipes for almost everything that's in a more healthier state. So I'm giving them their fit. There's all kind of chips that are on the market that are actually pretty much that are better than others that I transition to. So that really they're looking for crunchy, salty, right? So then I switched them from crunchy, salty on those chips, and we segue maybe down a little bit sometimes to either air fried, sweet potato fries, or sometimes I'll take them if they're ready, depending on how their progress is going mentally as well as physically, down to cucumbers with like a salt and a vinegar on them, which typically, and then before you know it, they're completely segued off of all the bad food and are wanting to make their own things because it tastes so much better. It's really that
because a lot of people,
it's really that they don't have the recipes or the know-how to segue from something bad that look to something good that looks and tastes similar.
That's right. And a lot of people think that you can't eat pizza when you're doing a program. They're not sure. They think all the food's going to be unseasoned and plain. But once they get an idea, like you, with your app, they start eating better because it's like, oh, I can eat that. I'm familiar with chips. Exactly. So what's your app?
So it's my personal app. It's Pura Vida. I have to send you a link. It's through I use the Trainerize platform, but I'll send you the link.
Send me the link after so I can post
it. And then and I can do anything from, you name it, chips all the way to donuts to muffins. If you can bake and instructions, you're good.
Well, that's good. And can someone just get a nutrition plan from you without the training?
And that's customizable as well. So I don't want to be the person to force all the components. Some people actually do have a very good training base, right? They do wonderfully with that on their own. They know exactly what they're doing, but it's the nutrition piece that they're missing. So I do have nutrition only plans, cardio only plans. I have people that come to me for just running plans, cycling plans. I've got quite a few clients that do marathons, and we just, work on the skill set with that. So, customizable all the way around.
What would you give someone like 2 days before a long run?
So it depends. So what I like to do before we get into long runs is I see, first of all, how food works with them overall. And how well, depending on what they've been eating first. You always got to start there because the body's been used to that energy system. Once I figure out, okay, well, their body works well off of this without them gaining a pound when they're not dieting. If I do this, this, and this, maybe decrease carbs, up fats, let's see how that works, or increase carbs and decrease fats, let's see how that works. If we get to a long run, first thing I do is I ask them, well, how do you feel when you get long run? Let's say for some people, we'll say 10 miles. How do you feel when you get to mile 6 when you've eaten this food? If they say I feel like trash, then I look and see, okay, are they more fat heavy or carb heavy in that run? If they're carb heavy, then I say, okay, I'm going to strip away some carbs because they apparently have enough glucose in the system, and I'm going to give them more fats and see what happens with that. For me, I can go run 22 without any food, any carbs, anything. Because I make my body pretty versatile on between fats and carbohydrates. I do ketogenic diet quite a bit, so I can wait without having to eat anything. It's crazy almost.
Oh, wow. You're a superwoman. That's what you are. You're a superwoman. So how does it feel when you're competing? When you're on that stage and you're in your bikini and you're all creamed and up and tanned? Like, how do you feel?
So this is gonna seem crazy. I hate it.
Do what? Oh my god! I didn't expect that.
I can't stand that. My honesty moment. So I'm pretty brutally honest. Okay. So I'm a tomboy. True tomboy by heart, but going on the stage, I have to really bring out this very feminine, poppy, prissy, handsy thingy, right? So it's very difficult for me to pull that out when I've been in tennis shoes and sweats every day. It's difficult in that regard. But once I do get up there and we're in our routine portion, it's the mandatory portions that I don't like, the comparisons, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm always the tallest girl against all these short girls, so I know how that looks. It's oranges and apples, but When I'm doing my routine, though, that is where I shine. That is the part that I do like, is the routine. I feel like it's an expression of myself, of my emotion. I kind of leave it all on the table when I'm doing that. Like any stress or drama is right on there.
Yeah.
So I do like the routine part, but the actual comparison rounds, yeah, I hate it. If we can be up there in our workout clothes, that's gravy.
Yeah, you look good in your workout
Thank you.
clothes. How much suits do you have? I bet you got like a whole wardrobe full of
I
just
have
gym clothes.
six suits. And then so I've got like $20,000 worth of suits. They're
Yeah, I can
they're
imagine.
very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Who's your favorite brand? What's your favorite brand to wear?
Actually, I like to use a couple different ones. So I've got suits by CJ, I've got T. Marie suits, suits by Amy suits. So I kind of go to a couple different designers every often, because every designer has their own. You can tell it's their suit. Sometimes each prep, my body's not the same, right? You try to improve or change your body in some way. So I like to find another piece of art to go along with that change to match it. I like to change the designers. I don't like to keep the designer the same. And it gives them.
Yeah, that's like me. If I see something and I'm like, I think I'll look good in that, I'm just getting it. I don't mind who it is. As long as the fit is nice and I can breathe in it,
right.
you know? I'm going full 100
I did Toronto Pro in December, and I really had no intentions of really doing the show that much. When I got to Canada, I had a suit made in 2 days, and I had no idea what it was going to be, and she did a phenomenal job. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow. I want to see it.
There's a picture on my Instagram of me doing a front shot. Beautiful, beautiful suit.
What was it? Silver? What color?
It's black. It was black, and it's got like red and oranges in there.
I'm gonna have a look. I think I missed that. But you said earlier, your teacher was like, "Oh, Miss Clarkson." Did you say Clark? That was your old name.
Carson.
So Carlson? What's your
Redmond.
new name?
Yeah.
Redmond. Oh, similar. It rhymes. Carlson. Redmond. It rhymes. So, yeah. So when did you get married? When did you start having children?
I got married in 2015. I took the long walk getting there.
I haven't even taken it yet.
Marriage is a job. I think that people do not take it quite as serious as they need to. It is something that you really need to be able to dedicate your whole being to if you want it to work, So it's I knew that it was something that I wanted to just wait. Kids, you almost can't really wait, but so long the clock kind of comes to a stop. But marriage, picking that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, you need to really take your time and choose wisely. There's a lot more to consider than I love.
Yeah. It's as important as your career.
I'm sorry?
And if so, it's as important as your career.
Or more, yeah.
And more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got 4 children. How old's
28, 26, 21, getting ready to be 22, and 16.
I think you're my goal, You're my goal in life. I swear.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the youngest is how old?
I don't tell it. I'm not a spring chicken.
The youngest. How old's the youngest?
My youngest is 16.
Wow, you got no babies.
Yeah.
But they're all your babies.
No babies, yeah. They're all big now.
Yeah, wow. If you was my mom, I would show up. Oh my God. I would show up. Everywhere we go, like, this is my mom. Look, mom, get in the picture. I'll be showing up, I swear. So tell me what do you hate? Like, what do you see in the industry and you think to yourself, I wish I could change that?
I won't say hate because it's a strong word, but I definitely.
Yes, I should have said dislike.
What I dislike in the industry is everyone's desire to just. I get it. We all have to have a career where we're making money. I get it, but if you really got into this industry, It really should not have. If the money was motivating you, then you're really not in it for the results of the clients. And what it's like is I don't think that people in this industry understand that they're really messing with people's physical health, that you can totally screw up, or if you injure them, you can totally mess with their mental health as well, right? And so, if the person's one unit, you can't just start picking apart and separating units, right? We're one unit. And I don't think that people in the industry are considering that. I post some pictures up of myself, but if you really go through my page, it's pretty scant of me putting up a bunch of me all the time. I know that my physique is very hard to attain, and it's not always really realistic in terms of everybody else. And I don't ever want women to feel the pressure that they need to look like me. You know, what I do is extreme and it's extra. And so I wish that in the fitness portion of social media, more, especially the women, they were more real about what they really look like instead of using old photos and filters and all of that stuff. It gives other women a big stigma. You know, you're going on those pages, you're looking up these women, you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to look like this. And then you start to spiral out of control. Even competitors do it. Competitors, you know, as a competitor, I don't go on other competitors' page and see what they look like and doing during prep, because their body is not my body. So it doesn't matter what they look like. We don't have the same genetics. So why am I beating myself up? So I avoid it. But some people can't avoid it. They have that, they're compelled to look. Some people were a bit more open and realistic with what they really look like in their off season, you know?
And everyone should know, like, you don't have to look like your trainer or the person who you go to upgrade yourself. Your body is unique in itself. Your shape is yours, and you should embrace that.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Do you feel like you're a PT, but you're like your actual coach? Like
I'm more of a whole all over coach.
Fitness.
All around. Because honestly, you know, I try to instill in my clients a mental aspect that, you know, it doesn't matter that we're doing this nutrition and that we're doing this cardio. If your mindset is not aligned with what you're doing, it is just going to be a diet and you'll fail out at some point, right? So I'm trying to teach them to look in the mirror and love themselves, love what they see back, you know, and instead of when they send their check-in pics, don't say, oh, but my butt's still whatever, you know. How about, oh, my shoulders look great this week. Oh, my legs are starting to come in. You know, focus on the positive and start looking at those all the time versus nitpicking. We break ourselves down too much.
Yeah, we do. I mean, you have to understand that it doesn't take a week to get the result. It has to slightly become your lifestyle / hobby for you to get some result, you know? So it's good. Do you get like those insecure men that a bit intimidating? Like you get people intimidated by you when they see you training
all the time. And I would never say, if I was a man, I don't think it would verbalize that. But they say it, they're like, oh, I'm intimidated.
Yeah, I know. What did they say? What some things that they've said to
you? Oh my gosh, I get this all the time. Your arms are bigger than mine. Oh my gosh, your back is so wide. I cannot believe it. I don't even look like that. Or just a simple, man, I'm trying to look like you. Or they'll come over while lifting weights and they're like, I've had guys who literally just came to the gym, put their stuff down and start working out. They're like, oh, you're over. I'm not working out over here because you're going to embarrass me. And I'm like, no.
So insecure. No, oh
I'm not looking. I don't think they're looking. Only you're looking. No one cares.
Yeah, you're obviously looking at my bits. You know, they're looking at you. There's a lady here. Her name's Nisa Love, and she's been telling you look amazing all through the live. She's like, you're amazing, you're amazing. But she's like, Maria, I want to work out, but not sure where to begin. Could you give us some advice? Go to the app. Maria, go to the app.
We'll make sure you get the link. But if you don't make it there, start off really small. I always tell people that even though they say, oh, there's machines in the gym, they're also there for a reason, and bodybuilders all use the machines, believe it or not. So start with the machine so you can get acclimated with that, because you can definitely hit every body part using a machine in the gym. Just take a moment, read the piece of equipment. If it doesn't have instructions on it, you have your phone. Use it as a tool instead of Instagramming, right? Get on
Yeah, go to YouTube.
right. Get on Google, YouTube, and look it up, the piece of equipment, and you'll see a video on exactly how to use it if you're not sure how to use it. But with my app, it also has video on there to tell you this is the exercise, this is how many sets, this is how many reps, and this is how you do the machine.
Perfect. That's perfect. Wow. So, what can we see from you this year? What we're going to see?
So this
what you're going to be
on the docket is hopefully 2 Ironman 70.3. So that's the half distance between May and July.
Wow.
And then September is the long distance Ironman. And so
how long is the distance? The long distance.
140 kilometers. Yeah. Miles. Yes. So yeah. So,
wow.
Interested in that.
That's a lot.
That one's going to be good.
Do it.
And
do it.
Maybe a couple bodybuilding shows sprinkled in. I don't really prep for bodybuilding shows the same way anymore. Now that I've started with triathlon, I'm already in pretty decent shape. So I kind of just back into a show a little bit versus picking one and, and it takes the pressure off a little bit. I wish I could do that with Ironman too, but you have to sign up because the registration is it has to be, you can sign up a week before a bodybuilding competition, but with Ironmans, you got to sign up at least 2 months prior to, so you're stuck in, you're locked in.
Get your training in time, but I think the triathlon's more fun. It's more fun. It's fun. It's got you like this every time. You got to focus to get to the next one.
And what I'm learning is the bike ride. The bike ride is a lonely place. It's it's lonely, and that's that's why I think it resonates with me. Like with bodybuilding, it's on the bike that you go into these weird trenchy places mentally. And I kind of like a little bit of the battle inside the trench with myself on, can you do it? Can you not? You can just stop. No, I can't. That whole thing.
Yeah, I have that. I'm like, knees keep going up. I just want my knees to go up. Knees, I just think knees, lift your knees, lift your knees, lift your knees. Push for your hips, push for your hips. I'm like, I love riding. I keep telling myself, just keep going. But spinning classes got me into riding. And I really love it. I know what it takes. It's really, really hard on your core, on your legs, on your lungs. So I applaud you for all that you're doing and for the gift that you're sharing with all of us. I thank you for that. I'm going to have to run now, but I'm so glad that you took this time out to talk to me. I'm so happy. I'm so excited that I get to speak to so much powerful women who I really admire,
awesome.
I really admire, and people need to see that there's superheroes, there's real superheroes.
That's right. There's plenty of us.
When's your next client? Where's your next client? What country? I know you
travel. I go back. It'll be back in Germany. So that'll be in about 3 weeks, and then I'll be home in Germany for a little bit. Got a couple guys that I'm working with right now to get them to the stage. They're looking phenomenal, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's lovely. You should post them. I want to see them, see what they're looking like. I'm going to keep up with you all year. I'm going to be doing some more interviews in the summer. So within the next 6 months, I'm going to be nosy again and be like, what are you getting up to? What you been doing? What's going on? And I'm just really thankful for this opportunity. So thank you so much, Maria, and keep being a superhero. I love you, and I hope to see you soon.
All right, girl.
See you later. Thank you. Bye.